YouTube. When Candace is abducted by aliens and taken to a far-off planet, it's up to her younger brothers Phineas and Ferb and their friends to rescue her. I know it's been a minute since I reviewed an animated film, a couple minutes, actually, but I'm really excited to review this one. I remember when it was officially announced at the Disney Plus panel at the D23 Expo last year. Life was so much simpler at that time. I even got a free hat just for attending. When it was announced at the panel, I was one of the first to see some stills from the movie, and ever since then I've been excited. I want to keep this hat on. Should I? Kinda sorta want to. Screw it. Just to get out of the way, I love Phineas and Ferb. I grew up watching the show, and I've been rewatching it now on Disney Plus. Thank you, streaming services. And yeah, I really like this movie. It's just really nice to see the cast back together, even if everyone's at home. Leading up to the release of the movie, the cast and co-creators got to spend some time on my local news channels, which was pretty cool to see. Side note, why does it take a global pandemic for animation to be taken seriously? The segment on NBC was like, animators and voice actors get to work at home? How do you think animators on YouTube are doing so well? For a movie that was partially produced in quarantine, it looks pretty good. There are some scenes that look like they're straight from the show, and then other scenes that don't, but I think it still looks good. And let me just say, again, ever since Busted, Candace and Vanessa have been such a freaking power couple. I love when they get to team up. Those times are rare, but they're so freaking iconic. Their team up in the movie is small, again, and I was kind of disappointed by that, but I'm so here for more Candace and Vanessa content. The CGI was very well done too, and I'm assuming that was before quarantine hit, but I can barely tell the difference between 3D and 2D. I believe I only saw one thing that I knew was CGI, and that was an alien ship. Everything else I could have sworn it was 2D because it blended in so well. When you compare it to the first Phineas and Ferb movie, Across the Second Dimension, Candace Against the Universe's CGI definitely improved. And the backgrounds looked so nice too. I loved it. I said I really liked seeing the cast back together even though they're at home, and that goes along for the characters. I loved seeing the Phineas and Ferb gang teaming up with Dr. Doofenshmirtz again, since due to the events of the last movie they forgot, because their memories were wiped. But yeah. This isn't directly stated, but you can kind of assume because of the events of the first movie. When Phineas and Ferb and the crew have to go off into space, Perry joins them, but they have no idea that Perry's with them. They have no idea he's actually on the ship, or at least following them. He can't expose himself, or else the events from the last movie would just happen all over again. And I like that idea. It was cool to see Perry destroying meteorites or meteors or whatever they were before they hit the spaceship and hurt all the characters that, we know and love. In case you haven't seen the show, it takes place in one summer. I'm not entirely sure about some of the holiday episodes, but forget about it. This entire summer takes place in, I think, 2007. That's the year when the show came out, so I'm just assuming. And because this movie was released in 2020, there's, I believe, a couple of inconsistencies. The characters have really dated phones, which I'm not surprised to see because, 2007. There's also social media, kind of sorta like Instagram. I think Candace made a diss at Alexa, which was pretty funny. And don't get me started on the writing because the script is just hilarious. I actually wrote down a bunch of quotes that I really liked and they're all out of context. Oh geez, he just Candiced all over me. My support group says you're keeping me down. Do you see this patch? Pray you never find out what it's for. All we do is cower. We are called the cowards. In our language, it means coward. 4 block, 4 block, 4 block. How did Phineas and Ferb say it so easily? Oh yeah, and there was a joke about cubism that I really liked for some reason. Oh my gosh. The fourth wall joke. Fourth wall joke in Phineas and Ferb, the movie, Candace Against the Universe, is quite possibly the best fourth wall joke I have ever seen. I will not even dare to spoil it. You have to watch it for yourself because it is so bloody iconic. Anyway, the songs were absolute bangers in this movie. My favorite was by far Adulting, which is a duet sung by Doofenshmirtz and Isabella. I never knew I needed that duo in my life. If Adulting by Doofenshmirtz and Isabella does not get nominated for Best Original Song at the Oscars next year, I will sue the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Nominate it, you cowards. During the movie, I just took a bunch of random bullet points as notes. Like Vanessa writing her Lorkel is absolutely everything. That one dark joke that I absolutely loved. Accidents can happen. Dad, we are not killing the chicken. Side note, if this still does not summarize 2020, I don't know what does. I should probably get to that point in the review when I point out the negative stuff. Because, yeah, there's some stuff. So, the main plot is Candace getting abducted by aliens and being taken to their planet. This plot point is very similar to the Queen of Mars episode when the aliens hail her as their queen or the chosen one. And how do you have Phineas and Ferb go into space and not mention Meep? Ugh, the audacity. And there's a twist with the aliens that about 40 minutes in, I kind of caught on. I think I realized about 10 minutes before the actual twist happened. Yeah, it was kind of predictable. I'm not going to spoil it, but it still makes the last half very enjoyable. Ugh, for crying out loud. There was a flossing alien. In a Phineas and Ferb movie in 2020. I understand animation takes a very long time to produce, but come on. Dan, Swampy, I don't even know if that was your choice or if it was the Disney executives making you to do it, but ugh. Oh my gosh, and I forgot to mention something about the fourth wall joke. Disney wanted to cut out the funniest joke in the movie, and Dan actually threatened the company by saying that if they removed the joke, he was going to quit the project. We stan Dan Povenmire. I'm so going to regret saying that in editing. Yes, I will. The movie, of course, is a comedy, and when you have comedy, the general rule is you're supposed to have a lot of heart too, and there is. There's a really heartwarming scene either just before or during the climax. During this entire movie, Phineas and Ferb have been trying to give Candace a gift, but she refused to accept it because, well, she kind of came to the realization during the beginning of the movie, which causes the conflict of her being abducted, is that she constantly feels overshadowed by Phineas and Ferb's inventions and that she's never able to bust them, so she feels really bad and miserable about being overshadowed. And during this entire movie, Phineas and Ferb are trying to give her a gift to make her feel better. I won't spoil it, but it's so freaking cute. I watched Across the Second Dimension a few hours before watching Candace Against the Universe, and is Candace Against the Universe better than Across the Second Dimension? No, not really. I laughed a lot more and harder at the jokes in Second Dimension.
So you've discovered your pet is a secret agent. I don't want your pamphlet.
Wow! If I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
In Second Dimension, Candace and Isabella are absolute queens. How are they not Disney princesses? They were just absolute icons. And of course you can't forget about Phineas's angry eyes. Angry Phineas scared me when I was little, and he still does to this day. Sorry for the tangent, but I haven't watched Across the Second Dimension in years, and I completely forgot how incredible it is. During the last 15 minutes during the climax, Candace she absolutely kicks butt. Not as much as Second Dimension Candace, but still kicking butt and still looking awesome. To summarize Candace Against the Universe, it's funny, it looks amazing, the songs are absolute bangers, and it still has the trademark Phineas and Ferb wit and spirit and charisma. Again, not as sensational as Across the Second Dimension, but still very fun to watch. Did I enjoy this movie? Yes. Yes, I did. On the rainbow scale, this is a blue movie. I really hope this isn't the last we see of Phineas and Ferb. In the NBC4 segment, Dan said something about a pilot.
And he's already working on a series pilot.
The pilot got moved up like 6 months because they were like, oh, we need content.
I don't know if that's for a different show or some spin-off to Milo Murphy's Law, which I still need to watch, by the way, but I'm in the middle of like 4 or 5 other shows right now, but I'll get to it eventually. But yeah. If you have seen Phineas and Ferb, the movie Candace Against the Universe, you can tell me your thoughts in the comments below because I would love to know. And you can comment, like, subscribe for future movie reviews, and I'll see you later. And also the voice of Phineas liked my tweets, so that was awesome. It looks so greasy. Oh my gosh, jeez. It's not even that hot in here. What the heck?